I want to welcome Candace Zarni, author of the book First Cause. Candace, I know exactly who I want to be. I think everyone listening right now has a very clear, highly specific vision of this grounded, competent, patient version of themselves.
Absolutely. The ideal self, right? You picture the kind of person who handles a sudden logistical crisis without, breaking a single sweat. Or the kind of parent who listens to their kids complaining without immediately snapping. Or the professional who navigates a really tense meeting with just absolute, unshakable clarity.
Exactly. You have the blueprint for that person in your head. So why is it that when the pressure actually spikes, right? Like when the stakes are genuinely high and the stress hits your nervous system, a completely different, highly reactive stranger shows up in your place?
Like you get hijacked. You watch yourself say the sharp, defensive thing, or, you make a panic decision, or maybe you just completely shrink back. And somewhere in the back of your mind, while it's happening, you're thinking like, who is this? This isn't me. It is an incredibly disorienting experience, and it is entirely universal. We spend an enormous amount of our lives curating our ideal response to the world, reading the books, planning the behavior. But under acute stress, all of that cognitive curation completely collapses. We don't default to our highest aspirations. We default to something else entirely. It's a physiological takeover.
And that physiological takeover, that experience of the hijacked self, is exactly the phenomenon at the center of your research we're diving into today.
It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. We've got a massive stack of notes here built around the source material from specifically your book called First Cause. Yeah, and our mission for this deep dive is, well, it's very specific. We are hunting for a highly trainable, highly practical performance edge, which is key.
We are entirely bypassing the realm of vague spiritual jargon here. We aren't talking about going on a 30-day silent meditation retreat or using abstract wellness concepts. No managing your vibrations today.
No vibrations. We are talking about capability. We are looking for the ultimate competitive advantage, which you call the moment before.
The moment before. It's a great concept because it locates the exact, precise intersection of human performance and inner alignment. It basically gives us a geographic location for where agency actually lives in the human mind.
Okay, so let's unpack this right away. What exactly is the moment before? Because, it sounds like a poetic phrase, but in the context of this text, it's a structural mechanism.
It is. It's that split microscopic second before stress completely takes over your nervous system.
A micro moment.
Exactly. The micro moment where you are actually present, where you're clear and fully yourself before the reactive habitual pattern runs its script.
Yes, it's the gap.
It is the psychological and neurological space between an external stimulus and your automatic response. And the core premise of this work is that this gap isn't just a lucky occurrence on a good day. It's not just when you've had exactly 8 hours of sleep and the perfect cup of coffee. It is a highly trainable skill. You can systematically learn to occupy and expand that moment before.
Which brings up a critical distinction we need to make right out of the gate. People use the words reacting and responding as if they're perfectly interchangeable synonyms.
Oh, constantly. But biologically and psychologically, they are completely different mechanisms.
So what is the actual difference between reacting and responding? And how do most of us typically find out that we've gotten that equation completely backwards?
It's probably the most crucial distinction we can make today. Reacting is entirely automatic, and it's driven almost exclusively by external pressure. When you react, you're essentially a biological mechanism being operated by your environment. Think about it. Neurologically, right? Someone raises their voice at you, your amygdala flags a threat. Heart rate spikes, cortisol surges, and you immediately attack or defend. The environment dictated your internal state. You didn't choose anything.
The environment just pulled a leverage.
Yeah, and you functioned exactly as programmed. Responding, on the other hand, is deliberate. It's driven by internal alignment.
You get the same external stimulus, right? The raised voice or whatever.
Yes, the exact same threat. But instead of the amygdala instantly hijacking the system, you process that stimulus through your own internal foundation, your own first cause, as I call it, before you act. So the action you take is consciously chosen. Precisely. You retain your sovereignty.
I love that phrase, retain your sovereignty. So if I'm understanding this correctly, a reaction belongs entirely to the environment, but a response belongs to you.
That's it. You maintain ownership of your behavior. So here's where I'll leave you. Everything we talked about today starts with one thing: knowing what your reactive pattern actually is. Because you can't catch the moment before if you don't know what you're catching it from. That's why I developed a free 5-minute quiz that tells you exactly which reactive pattern runs you when the pressure hits. The one that's been costing you without you ever naming it. Go to consciousnesstrack.app/quiz. That's consciousnesstrack.app/quiz. Take it before the day gets hold of you. See your pattern. Then you'll know exactly where the work begins.